Hey everyone, welcome to Nerd Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to be doing a quick video for you just to kind of give you some up-to-date news on the game stuff that's kind of come out over the last week. Not a crazy busy week of news, but just the stuff that we were interested in we thought we'd share with you. The biggest thing for me, of course, is the new Smash Brother character reveal. Wasn't quite what I was expecting, but we'll get into that in a bit. As well as some new news regarding Game Pass and an upgrade to the subscription and kind of what you can expect from that as of November. So we'll touch base on that in a bit as well. Before we get into that, just a quick housekeeping. Nerd Talk is a community we like to set up here for all ages, and if you like what you see, definitely we'd love the support if you could click that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny. Like the video, and of course drop a comment in the comments below. You can shoot us an email at nerdstalkinfo@gmail.com with any suggestions of any coverage you'd like us to cover, whether it's comics, games, movies, or something else. And with that, let's jump right into it. So I guess I'll jump in with the Smash news. Chris, I know that you don't have Smash Brothers as of yet. That's something that you're looking at.
Not
getting.
yet. It's on my son's Christmas list. So
there you go.
I see it. We have some saved data from your game on our system and stuff like that. So he's quite into it. I enjoy it as well. But yeah, you're definitely more into it than I am right now.
Absolutely. So they revealed the new Smash character, and nobody expected this, but it was Minecraft Steve. A lot of people wanted him, and I was like, there's no way he's going to get in before the bigger characters that more people wanted, like Sora, Gino, and there was the other big one that a lot of people wanted, and I'm drawing a blank here. There's another one. I just can't think of it right now. But anyway, you know, they went with Minecraft. You know, it's one of the biggest selling games worldwide, and probably only second, if it is second to Fortnite, or Fortnite's just underneath it. But it's done huge success, great for all ages. You know, simple to play, lots of things that you can build and craft and learn in it. So you know, it's great to show that support. Again, another Microsoft property, which is funny. And a lot of people were hoping that if we were going to get Microsoft, we would see, you know, Master Chief,
yeah,
you know, something
like
else,
that,
right?
Know? Yeah.
But at this point, you know, again, it caters to the younger audience, which Nintendo loves to do. So great there. A unique visual look to the character. Definitely a very unique play style. We kind of ran through the video of how he plays, and it's a lot about building and mining and crafting, which is what the game is all about. In addition to trying to keep your fighters at bay while you're trying to find the items you need to upgrade your weapons, or to have enough materials to be able to use certain attacks effectively. So it's kind of a crazy mixed bag, and it's going to be interesting to see how people pick up this character and utilize it, as well as other people like knowing, okay, this guy needs iron, I'm going to go stand over the iron areas and like try to keep him back, or try to figure out what he's going to do. So it looks very cute, kind of fun. I don't know if it's a character that I'd be drawn to. I'll definitely try it, but it definitely looks very complex, very much like Hero, with the random spells that you're gonna come up with every time you use that down B special. But it's interesting to see, you know, how effective he's going to be used, you know, in the competitive industry.
Yeah. So it looks totally new and different. I think Nintendo's trying to switch it up a little bit, like you said, with Hero, with the complex spells and so on. I think this is really going to cater to the young people who played Minecraft before, grew up on Minecraft, really enjoy it. And I think they will have the advantage from day one on launch, you know, with knowing how to build things, how to, you know, get materials, craft, all those kind of things, all those features. So I think they'll have the advantage, and they'll enjoy that advantage as well. But I think it's interesting. Definitely not my. I never really got into Minecraft. I know it's very popular, as you said, huge game all over. I'm intrigued that it's another Microsoft product entity that's going in with partnering with Nintendo. I find that their partnership is very unique, but can be a strong one, and they can build off each other and really make that partnership grow. So I like it, but it's, like you, it's not someone I would get drawn to right away.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. You know, I hope that, you know, the last four characters. It's great to see variety. But they did show off the downloadable Mii costumes, and that deconfirmed some characters. So, you know, Bomberman was an assist trophy. We already knew that most of the assist trophies, we assume, are not going to be fighters because they are already in the game as a character. So to have you fight against that same character as an assist trophy wouldn't really make sense. And so Bomberman was an assist fighter, but they added him as a costume, I guess, for those who just wanted to play as Bomberman, because a lot of people wanted him in the game. And I guess at this point, he's pretty much saying he's not going to be in the game. He's an assist fighter. He's a costume if you really want to be him. But for the most part, costume fighters are not main characters, because that's the way that you get to play with them as the costume. So last generation, we had a costume for King K. Rool, the Inklings from Splatoon. I think we had one for Ken, and we had one for obviously we had one for Gino and some other characters, and so all of those characters minus Gino have become fighters now, and there are no costumes for them in this game, but we have costumes for characters that people wanted, like in previous entries. I think it was what's that famous fighting game from PlayStation, Tekken. They had the main guy from Tekken as a costume, and they had characters. We have like Sans from Undertale. A lot of people wanted the Undertale representation in it. We had Cuphead as a costume. So again, these are not going to be fighters. You can download the costume, and that's your way of being the fighters. And so in this pass, they showcased Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. A lot of people thought he was going to be in. There was a lot of talk around the creator of No More Heroes, and every time they interviewed him about being in Smash, how excited he was, how much he wanted it to happen. And most recently, they did an interview, and he said no comment. So they were like, that's odd. The last few times we talked to him about it, he was ecstatic about being in Smash and how much he wanted to do it, and then went to no comment. Makes you think, okay, he's probably going to be added as a fighter. But this coming up as a me costume kind of was like, no, well, he is in Smash, but he's not a fighter. He's a costume. That's the only way you're going to be this character, which makes me happy because it doesn't take away a slot for that chance of Gino popping up, right? Or someone like Sora or something else. So, yeah, it's interesting. So, Travis deconfirmed. Obviously, Bomberman is not going to be a playable character. And then we got some, Minecraft skins and another character from, I guess, a Japanese game, a Dragon Song Sky. I can't remember the name of the title. But anyway, Gil was the character's name. So, a great way for you to kind of get an experience of playing that character mildly via the Mii Fighters. But yeah, it's good to know that they are trying to show support as much as possible in some way or other. When Shovel Knight was an assist trophy, a lot of people were disappointed. They thought if anyone, he would get the indie game spot. A lot of people are still hoping that Shantae will get the indie game spot. She's been huge on the Nintendo platform since the Game Boy. And her latest title is on the Switch as well as other platforms right now. So a lot of people are hoping for Shantae. I can't remember if she's a spirit in the game. I think she is, but obviously she's not a costume, so it's very potential that she could become a fighter.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, it's exciting. The new amiibos look phenomenal. They showcase Banjo.
They showcase some of the sculpting, the 3D sculpting. Yeah. Fantastic. So good looking. Like Banjo,
Terry.
Yeah.
And Byleth. And then they confirmed Byleth will only get player one, so the male version, they are not releasing the female version, which is great because with Bayonetta and Corrin from the last game, they did release both versions, the male and female. Or in Bayonetta, they had Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 version because she had two different outfits in both games and their alternate costumes, so they made two amiibos for each. Luckily, they didn't do that going forward, so there's only one to collect for Byleth, and that means one to collect for Minecraft, I would assume, right? It would be the same treatment. So it'll just be Steve, and Alex won't be an amiibo. And with 4 more fighters coming out, we know that at this point, all that's left to come out is Fighter Pass 2. We have Min Min, and we're going to have Minecraft Steven, whoever the next 4 is going to be. So stoked, so excited. Cannot wait to finish the collection finally. And then, of course, we have these Monster Hunter Rise characters that are going to be released.
And then there's a Cat Mario and Cat Peach that's coming out with the new 3D Mario World 3D. So that's another 2 that collectors will have to hunt down. I think that's 2021, January 2021. I think
February when the game launches, potentially.
February. You're right.
But even so, I have those 2 pre-ordered. Right, so those I've got locked in. Monster Hunter is still evading me right now. I gotta wait for that to show up. It's an EB exclusive in Canada. We'll see if we can get our hands on those. But yeah, I want to get that 100% collection. So it's tough right now, especially with pandemic, and you can't just show up standing outside the store with lineups and the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So it's tough. But hopefully there'll be enough stock at EB so that everyone can get one. We'll have to wait and see.
Yes, hopefully for sure.
Yeah, so that's the Smash news. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the Smash news. The release date for Minecraft Steve is on October 13th. So that's when you can get your hands on him. So then let's move on to the other big news was the Game Pass. and we heard that Microsoft had acquired Bethesda, so we know that all the Bethesda games are now going to be owned by Microsoft, the IPs anyway, and that means what they've confirmed is that all Bethesda games will become day one and all new games will be released on Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
so you don't have to pay extra cost for your new Elder Scrolls game, your new Starfield. Is that what they call it? I can't remember the new space game that they're working on. The new Dragon Age. Dragon Age BioWare. The new Doom game and the new what's the big one? The wow, I'm drawing a blank here. The big Fallout. Jeez, people are gonna be roasting me in the comments there. Yes, the new Fallout game is obviously gonna be day one on Game Pass. So that's phenomenal for them. They haven't confirmed or denied that they will be exclusive to the Xbox platform. They did say that they will release them on other platforms on a case-by-case basis. I think it would be very smart for Microsoft to do that to get the additional revenue on selling physical games on their competitors' platform. So even if they sell more copies on PlayStation, they're still getting the revenue and they're still winning. Plus, they have those that are subscribing. There's another value of you subscribing to Game Pass. You're getting all these great games day one for no additional cost. So the value of Game Pass is just getting greater and greater. They're not raising the price, which is great so far. And then we just heard the last piece of news is EA Access is officially joining the service as well on the launch of Series X. So that's November 10th. So you're getting all the EA games. I think there's 60 of them on there right now for no additional cost. So you got your sports games. You're going to have eventually Jedi Fallen Order. You're going to have what else is BioWare games are all under EA. So you're gonna have your Dragon Age, you're gonna have your Mass Effects and all that kind of stuff. It's phenomenal. Like the value is just getting so great. And of course, Game Pass does introduce indies, which is awesome. They introduce third parties like Ubisoft games and things have crept their way on there. So there is so much value that it's like whether you own an Xbox or not, you have a PC. It just doesn't make sense not to have this service, to have access to all these games. Play them on your phone if you have Android. Play them on your PC. Your save is in the cloud, so cross save. Play it on your Xbox, and man, you have all your games at your fingertips. Bye bye Stadia at this point.
Yes, 100%. Like this is a Stadia killer in any kind of gaming system like that. To have all those options, and then you can buy the game still if you want, if you really enjoy it, and your saves cross over that way as well. So that it's similar to, for those that don't know, kind of a Netflix type subscription where things can leave and then come on. I mean, we're guessing that Xbox games won't actually leave because they're exclusive to them. But just third parties may come and go.
Shows. Yeah,
exactly. Netflix originals will stay on Netflix, just like Xbox created games will obviously stay, and then third parties will come and go, which is nice because you can change it up a bit. And then still have that option to get a discounted price if you really like playing the game. But it gives you the opportunity to test different games that maybe you wouldn't have played normally. And then it gives you the option to play whatever you feel. If you want to play, action or puzzle type base or whatever it may be, you have this wide spectrum of games that you can choose from, pop them up right away and not worry about having to pay anything extra.
Absolutely. So I mean,
they're adding more and more, right?
Oh yeah. No, it sucks. They always advertise, over 100 games, but I thought by now it'd be over 300 games. When I saw that number never changed, I did some digging and saw, like, oh yeah, some titles do come and go, which sucks. It's like if you started a game, you didn't get to finish it, and they remove it. Now you're like, well, I guess you have to pay for that game to finish it. Only your save file doesn't get deleted, but it's kind of frustrating when you're trying to, you kind of think I'm paying for the service. As long as I'm paying, I should be able to have access to all these games as long as I have that subscription. Not
if you download it, then you have that game on your system, right?
And just like Game is a Gold. As long as you have Gold, you always have those games. They never get removed. Same with the PlayStation games. You have access to them forever. Once your subscription reneges, the games are not available. My understanding is you don't get to keep them on PlayStation and Xbox Gold. And for a fact, you don't unless you have Gold.
Yeah. But PlayStation, you don't keep them either. But if you renew back up again,
you still have them.
You get it. You get it all back up. But so as long as you keep paying.
Yeah.
Which is what it's for, right? That's what the membership's for. You pay to play, and then you keep what you want to play.
Absolutely.
Which it could change later on down the road, right? Mm-hmm. They could tweak it a little bit and make it that way. It's kind of new to them. They're kind of playing with different formats right now, and this is what they've gone with. But I wouldn't be surprised with all the companies that they're looking at purchasing. Another one that's rumored is Bungie. They've worked. They were working on Halo when it first came out, and then Microsoft took it back. So they had their things, but Destiny's always been a well played game, and maybe bringing the Bungie guys back in to help with some more Halo extensions and things
Or
like
just be
that,
like, you
or
keep
keeping
doing your
them
Destiny
separate with
thing.
their
Yeah, maybe can you help out on some Halo stuff but keep doing your
yeah
Destiny thing, and they get money on both platforms. Get some advice
yeah
or some assistance to tighten up multiplayer or the story or whatever they need. And yeah, and if it happens, I mean, again, Microsoft is coming back hard. It's not just about the convenience of the gamer first, play anywhere. The platform doesn't matter. You own your games. You pay into the service, and you have these games no matter where you go, no matter what device, which makes sense as a gamer. It's like there are times where I'm upstairs. My wife is like, we're watching a show, and I'm like, man, I just wish I could play a game. And so I have my Switch, but I'm like, man, I feel like playing like a PlayStation game right now, and it's on my my big screen TV downstairs. I'm not gonna unplug it, bring it upstairs. I only have the one TV upstairs. I'm kind of limited to what I can do, and remote play just doesn't have that. You have that lag and stuff. It's just not the same experience. But knowing that, like, with Xbox, I can just pull out my phone and use the same Xbox controller, and my phone is just a screen, and I'm able to play that same thing in the same room as my wife is watching a show. So that convenience is amazing, and I think that Microsoft is on the right track. And now with all these first-party exclusives that they're going to start getting with all these acquisitions, like they're on par with Sony. Like Sony has, they got Naughty Dog, and they have Bend and all these other big studios that are making these phenomenal games, right? They have the IPs, which is great. That it's not going to change. But Xbox is saying, you know what? We don't just have one or two great IPs. We now have 13 or 15 that are going to be available across these studios. And now we have Bethesda. Now we have another 7 or 8 that you can look forward to. So
and Doom's huge, Halo's huge. Like a lot of their exclusives are big. Gears is pretty big. It's not as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
But they still have some great IPs that they own and
Prey and Deus Ex, and there's a lot of stuff. So I'm like, it's phenomenal. I love that ability. And you see how much they paid for Bethesda? 7.8 or 7.5 billion dollars. I was like, that's more than Star Wars. I'm like, how could a game company be worth more than the Star Wars IP with the merchandise? But I mean, Microsoft is that company. They have the big pockets of cash. They are a huge company financially, bigger than Sony is. So Sony is like, we can't pay that much money at the drop of a hat to acquire one company. Like, they just don't have the money. So Microsoft, they want to. Like, what if they decided to buy up Ubisoft? Like, game, sit, and match at this point, or the other rumor is WB Games and get the DC licenses. Yeah. And then, man, now it's like Marvel versus DC. Like let's go. Like, I'm so excited for the possibilities. I'm glad that, I'm fortunate enough that, I've been working and putting money aside that eventually I will be able to have both consoles at some point in time. But it's great to know that, like, no matter which path you choose, you're going to have great gaming experiences. Yes. But Xbox just seems to be getting a better and better, or a stronger and stronger case for why they deserve your time and your money.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I always went back and forth with Xbox and PlayStation. Before, it was hands down always PS4. I didn't even go with the Xbox Series X or anything like that. But this one's looking a lot more beefy. The acquisitions that they're doing from day one, they're making all the right moves, saying all the right things, really concentrating on the gaming. Before, it was more like entertainment and trying to get into that, movies and sound and everything like that, and getting away from the gaming. That's why Sony was able to, kind of go further and become the main player in that. But they definitely, they're pretty 1A, 1B at this point. I would say, without actually seeing the consoles, Sony's probably a leg up, maybe 1A still, just with the pre-sales going so quickly and everything that they have right now. But down the line, it's getting closer and closer.
Absolutely. And one last point to make is regards to the game save. So we've heard that Sony had come out and talked about backwards compatibility and about PS4 and so there are games that you can put. Well, let's go right to the specifics here. So Yakuza game series that's been out for a while. The majority of it been on PlayStation platforms, and I think it's the latest version. I don't remember which version it was that they were specifically referring to, but you can play it on PlayStation 4, and it is available as a free upgrade to PlayStation 5 on day one, but your game save will not be available on day one. It'll be available sometime in 2021. So you either start playing on PS4 now and then either restart it from scratch, or don't play it on PS5 until the save comes over. And then in Miles Morales' case, your game will transfer and your save moves on no problem. But in the case of the Spider-Man game, the original Spider-Man game, for PS4, you can play it on PS5, but your save does not come over. And I just thought that was really, really ridiculous. Like I was like, what kind of nonsense is this? If I own the game, I put the disc in, it's going to work on PS5. Why can't my save move over? It's the same platform. It's still Sony. Like that's ridiculous. It's. I assume they just want you to play the game again. And we heard that they made some changes to the visual looks of Peter Parker. But to block your save, if you don't like. I've unlocked New Game Plus, so if anything, I would have played New Game Plus on the PS5 and run through it with all my upgrades and stuff and did it that way. But the fact that I gotta start from scratch, all my trophies, all my achievements, I gotta redo again, all those challenges all over again, that's a pain in the butt. Like, I worked really hard to getting all that done. I shouldn't have to go through all that again. Playing through the story is one thing, but to grind out all those challenges again, chasing all those pigeons, like, come on. Like, that just seems ridiculous. So I'm hoping that they change that and make a fix so that your save can move over, even if it is at 6 months down the road. But that's a little frustrating.
That kind of fixes that issue.
Yeah, well, Xbox came out and said, "Oh, all your game saves work day one. All your Xbox One games will move over, no problem. Your third-party games, your Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, anything you play it on Xbox Series X, it will automatically be there. There's no issues in any game, third-party game, it's available. Like, I mean, it's clearly a Sony blocking situation here." But it's frustrating. Like, I they did so well this last gen. Are they purposely trying to make people upset and like, well, we're the king of the hill, we can do what we want? This was the attitude that they had in the PS3 generation that basically cost them, and Xbox 360 just destroyed them. And then they kind of came back, and PlayStation 4 crushed Xbox with games first mentality, exclusives, and they gave us what we wanted. And Xbox started off with this multimedia crazy console with all these features that nobody wanted, digital only games, and like just the way you can like share games, just all this nonsense. And now it's like Microsoft is correcting. Microsoft is now the PS4 in this new generation, where they're coming out and like, we care about games, we know what you want, we're giving you to play what you want, how you want, where you want.
We're putting our money into it, like we're investing.
Multiple options.
In you guys.
Yes.
You want to go? If you don't want to do our new system right away, use our software. We're really focusing on software as well. Again, our atmosphere. It just seems like they're kind of bouncing back and forth every generation until the other catches up, and they have this mindset that just shoots them in the foot, really.
Yep. And then they talked about like, for the next 2 years at least, all of them Microsoft games first party will be available on the last generation. So Xbox One will be available in that version as well. So if you don't want to upgrade, you can buy a physical copy and play it on that version, which is great. PlayStation initially had said that, oh yeah, other games for next like PS5 or PS5 exclusive, and then they came out and like, oh well, Ratchet and Clank doesn't apply, and it's funny because the developer said that it was only able to be done on the hardware. Yeah, it was designed for the quick loading, and I'm like, well,
different dimensions.
That's a lie if it's being able to be played on PS4. And then Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel, especially because it's coming in next year, I was like, oh, that's definitely a PS5 exclusive. No, it's apparently going to be working on PS4. So you have these games that work on both platforms, just not going to be exclusives yet. What's the situation? Why is there this backwards compatibility problem? Why is there this future upgrade problem? Like, Sony just needs to get the wording right and just do right by the gamers, I think. And hopefully they get this fixed. I mean, like I said, I pre-ordered mine because of the exclusives that are coming out very soon. I want to play those games right away, like Horizon, like God of War, like Spider-Man. So I jumped on that first. But a lot of me kind of feels like, man, for $30 less, I could have got the Series X. All my game saves move over. I have all the access to everything. It's crazy. It's a crazy time right now. And if you look at the pre-order situation, I'm seeing every day notifications that the Xbox Series X has a couple more available for pre-order, whereas Sony is nowhere to be found. Done.
Now, the thing that I've just read is Xbox has sent some suppliers notes that not everyone who pre-ordered will get a day one launch date.
Interesting. Okay, so it'll be like a second shipment wave or something?
Yeah, and some are even saying not until 2021.
Ooh, okay.
So like not launch day, but like to be determined in 2021.
So if you pre-ordered, you're gonna get one, as opposed to Sony. Oh, we sold too many pre-orders, so we're gonna cancel your pre-order. Why not just leave it like Xbox is doing and say you'll get one eventually when the next shipment comes in? But no, they are limiting to the exact number they're getting supposedly. But at least Xbox is saying like, yeah, you might not get a day one, but you are gonna get one. Like the next one that comes in has your name on it, which is some sort of goodwill. But PlayStation is. Yeah, if you didn't secure the pre-order, you got nothing. Your pre-order's canceled. Good luck trying to find one. It's just, I mean, the pandemic.
Go to the stores on launch day and try and get one.
Yeah,
line up,
which is completely unadvisable. during this pandemic. But I
Yeah.
understand that's kind of thrown a wrench into a lot of things. It's just frustrating, like how they're handling it. I understand they don't want to delay it because their fiscal ends and they need to make money this quarter, and holidays is the biggest time for them to make money. And
Yeah.
but like clearly they're not getting out the amount that that they need to make to get the most sold. I don't know. I just feel like more thought could have been made. They could have just delayed it and say, okay, you know what, guys, we're going to be pushing this all to next year. You wait an extra
but
year.
They wanted that money in before the holidays.
Of course they did,
just to guarantee that, because they always launch consoles before the holidays.
Yeah, but if they waited, let's just step back. If they waited till next year, it sucks for us to be able to wait in a whole nother year. But if they waited, they'd have the whole nother year of more manufacturing, more consoles. So they'd have a huge amount for the demand. In addition, all those games that were supposed to be launching between now and next year would now become launch titles. So they have a huge library of ones you can get. Now, I know in some cases that's not a good idea for some developers because then some games will overshadow others and they may not sell as much. So I get that. But with the fact that a lot of these are coming to PS4 now anyway, sell the PS4 copies, and then you have the option to, get the free upgrade to the PS5. So you can still sell the software. So that's not a big deal. Like, I just don't understand the need to have to push it out. Like, are these companies really struggling for money right now? Like, as big as they are, with the pockets that they have, is it really, like, if they delayed it a year, is that really going to bankrupt them? I don't think so. But it's just frustrating at the situation, and I feel bad for the people that weren't able to get a pre-order and are now the scalpers that are kind of out there and taking pre-orders and stuff like that. It's unfortunate, but it's still, it's kind of what we're at right now. It's just crazy. And like I said, ultimately, I think my feelings on the matter are Xbox is doing right and Sony is just not. They could be doing better.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Now, what I think both of them are doing is they're trying to feed on that supply and demand. Everyone knows that there's shortages, so they're trying to get that, maybe I would have held off, but now I know if I don't do it now, I'm going to miss out, right? So you get that, buyer's remorse if you don't do it. So they're trying to feed off, low stocks, get it while you can, that side supply and demand kind of aspect, which might help the sales. I'm sure they would have sold out either way. But I think when the next round of pre-sales come up, it's going to be a feeding frenzy again. So I think they're trying to pump up that, get excited, take it while you can kind of state of mind kind of thing. So,
well, at the time of this recording, there was another round of pre-orders that went up today at EB Games for PlayStation 5 specifically, and they sold out really fast. A lot of people that I was talking to on some groups and Discord and stuff like that were like, yeah, I had it in the cart and it was gone, and the site crashed again, and bots are grabbing them, and it's just their site's getting hammered, which worries me for like the Amiibo situation. But it's really tough to get your hands on these products, and I'm like, you know what, if they are having a second wave of pre-orders, why not wait until wave 3 and 4 is ready, and then you have a bigger surplus so that there's more available during this pre-order window, instead of it being like, we have 500 units, we have 1,500 units, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's going to release next week, right?
The bots, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there should be some function of proving that you have to put in some sort, like find the fire hydrants or whatever, prove that you're not a robot kind of thing on these websites. Because just like ticket sales, just like all these other kind of premium things, the bots just kill the market and
they do
make everyone upset that they couldn't get it, and now they have to go to a scalper or reseller to pay double sometimes for things that they should have been able to get. These people have no interest in actually using it or getting it for themselves.
Yeah. And I think one of the final thoughts for me in regards to why they might be trying to push this year is they're probably trying to get that crazy like Animal Crossing magic due to the timing of that game, the pandemic, everyone indoors. Everything. And they're like, well, we're going to the cold season now, at least up here in Canada. We're going to be getting a lot of snow. People are going to be staying indoors. Perfect for video games. People are now,
people are staying home or whatever it may be, right?
Exactly. With numbers going up, at least in our country, there's, they're not going back. They're limiting how many people you can get together with, and they're kind of, backtracking back to where it was a few months ago, where you're pretty much, asked to try to stay home as much as possible and keep social distance and not visit other people. So, gaming right now is a great outlet to not only communicate and hang out with people, but also for entertainment purposes, right?
Yeah.
Instead of watching that same, limited Netflix or Disney Plus,
you
whatever
run out of
content.
movies that you can watch or shows that you're watching, right?
Exactly.
They're not producing new things right now, unfortunately. Yeah. And you kind of want to change it up sometimes, and it's a de-stressor, you get to enjoy things. Yeah,
And how many
I can see
hours?
that being a big thing as well.
Yeah,
When
and
people
how
are
many
like, oh,
hours?
this I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm
No,
gonna
go ahead.
invest because I didn't go on vacation, so I have some extra cash or whatever it may be. Right now, they don't have to compete with that. People might have a little bit extra hanging around that they're like, well, you know what, let's entertain ourselves. This is our entertainment instead of going to these shows or going to eat out more, whatever it may be. So definitely, I agree
Absolutely.
100% with your sentiment.
Yeah, and then of course games give you way more hours of entertainment than a single movie can. The longest movies being what, 3 hours, maybe 3 hours and a quarter, depending on the extended version of Endgame or whatever kind of specific movie you're watching.
Snyder cut of
Yeah, you have these odd ones that are long, but for the most part, you're limited to 2.5 to 3 hours for an average movie nowadays. And the average video game you're looking at 8 to 10 hours, upwards to 15 to 20, and in some
minimum. Yeah.
cases you have the big huge multiplayer experiences that give you hundreds and hundreds of hours of entertainment. So the amount of time that you get from this single purchase of 60, 70, 80, or $90, depending on where you live, is like pennies on the amount of time that you're getting out of it compared to buying, rent, paying for a $35 movie, or I don't know, if you wanted to buy an album or
TV series or
your
music or
subscriptions.
whatever it may be, right? Like, yeah, you can get a lot more out of it and change it up, and it depends on how in depth you want to get into games. Some people like to platinum it or 100% it, and some people just like to play the game and finish and move on to the next one.
That's right.
Especially with Game Pass and these other kind of things, you can really get some good gaming time in with a low cost.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's our thoughts on the game news. There's nothing else that kind of got my attention that I didn't want to, that I really wanted to discuss in this particular video of this week. I mean, was there anything else that was brought to your attention, or was this pretty much it for you?
No, that's pretty much it. I just thought it was some good announcements for the Amiibos, and then the Xbox information is just, like you said, I feel they're doing it right as well. I felt they've been doing it right since day one, and PlayStation kind of goes up and down. But yeah, still doing okay, but they can do better.
Absolutely. Well, I think the next time we will probably have some impressions on Star Wars Squadrons for everyone here. But until that point, what do you think, folks? What were your thoughts on the news that we shared? Are you excited about Smash Brothers? Did you like the reveal of the Minecraft character? You excited for the Amiibos? What are your predictions for the last 4 DLC characters? What about Game Pass? Are you excited for the value? Or is that something you're investing in now, or you think you're going to jump on now with the acquisition of Bethesda and the inclusion of EA Access? Let us know. Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, folks, stay nerdy.